Tonight we have breaking news as we come on the air. The stunning death of an actor from The Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable, swept away by a strong current. The new information as we begin tonight, authorities say the actor drowned reportedly while on vacation with his family in Costa Rica. He was swimming when they say he got caught up in a current and was pulled deeper out to sea. Tonight the tributes now pouring in. Also tonight, the Delta passenger jet and the close call with a U.S. Air Force B-52 bomber. The Delta pilot saying he was forced to make a sudden hard turn. Tonight, passengers described the plane on its side. They could see the ground. Tonight, the life-threatening heat, more than 90 million under heat alerts at this hour. In New York City, the high 90s. By week's end, it'll feel above 100. And the storms tonight across several states moving east. The rescue this evening, a woman found clinging to a tree. Ginger Z standing by with the forecast. Just in tonight, the disturbing new video obtained by TMZ showing the moment police say a driver intentionally plowed into a crowd. What led to this moment? And authorities now say it was a miracle. No one was killed. Tonight, after President Trump told the Attorney General that the Justice Department should release some of the grand jury testimony in the Epstein case, the White House tonight is asked why not release the full Epstein files. Tonight in upstate New York, the father who reported his 9-year-old girl was kidnapped, leading to an Amber Alert. Tonight here, the sudden turn in this case and the little girl's last call to her mother. The horrific images of fighter jet crashing into a school, at least 20 people killed, many of them children, and students rushing to help. Tonight, Israel expanding its operation into Gaza, dozens of Palestinians reportedly killed while seeking aid. Just days after the church the late Pope Francis would call daily was hit as well. Back in the U.S., the deadly shooting of a top college football recruit, just 18 years old. He was a freshman. Tonight, we remember a well-known actor who appeared in more than 70 TV shows. And the world's top-ranked golfer, the big win, the big moment for his little guy, his 14-month-old boy, stealing the show.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight here with the breaking news, the stunning death of actor Malcolm Jamal Warner, known by millions of Americans who watched The Cosby Show, of course. He played Theo Huxtable. Tonight, authorities say the actor was reportedly on a family vacation in Costa Rica, swimming when he got caught in a strong current, and they say he was pulled out to sea. Malcolm Jamal Warner played the only son on The Cosby Show among 4 sisters. So many Americans watched him grow up on that show. He went on to act in dozens of other TV shows and films, and he won a Grammy as well. Tonight here, the heartfelt words pouring in, the touching words from the actor himself, what Malcolm Jamal Warner once said about life and about death. Here's ABC's Victor Akendo leading us off.
Tonight, tributes are pouring in for actor Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Be right there.
Who charmed TV audiences for years as the lovable Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Police say the 54-year-old died in an accidental drowning off Costa Rica's Caribbean coast, where he was reportedly on a family vacation. Investigators say Warner got caught in a strong current while swimming and that beachgoers tried to rescue him, but it was too late by the time first responders reached him.
You cannot joke around when it comes to a woman like Lana Herman.
Okay.
For all 8 seasons, Warner made America laugh as the only son in a house with 4 daughters.
Hi, Theo.
Is this my shirt? Is this the shirt I paid $30 for? Is this the shirt they're supposed to think is a Morgan Gartrell?
Warner went on to act in films and dozens of TV shows, from sitcoms like Malcolm and Eddie and Read Between the Lines, to dramatic roles in Sons of Anarchy and The Resident.
This baby needs surgery in the next few hours.
Warner even winning a Grammy for Best Traditional R&B Performance.
It made me realize that
his most recent project, a podcast looking at the experiences and identities of blacks in America. Years after The Cosby Show,
Hi.
Warner said he was proud of the life he made after that iconic role.
This your brother?
No, he's my boyfriend.
I've had such an awesome life. You know, I've got my ups and downs and all of that. But like, if I die tomorrow, I know I would go with a smile on my face. I know I haven't wronged anybody. I have peace of mind. And for me, you can't put a price on that.
And David, the heartbreaking reaction tonight. One of Warner's co-stars, Tracy Ellis Ross, saying he made the world a brighter place. And actor Jamie Foxx writing he is speechless on this one, adding, "Rest in power, my brother." David?
He was so joyful, and he brought so much to that show. Victor Akendo leading us off tonight. Victor, thank you. We turn now to the terrifying moments for passengers on board a Delta passenger jet after a close call with a U.S. Air Force B-52 bomber. The Delta pilot saying he was forced to make a sudden hard turn to avoid the bomber. Passengers now describing the plane on its side. They could actually see the ground. The incident under investigation tonight, and the Air Force now confirming a B-52 aircraft did conduct a flyover of the North Dakota State Fair at the time of the flight. Here's Gio Benitez.
Tonight, the FAA and the Air Force are investigating how a Delta regional jet coming in for landing at Minot International Airport in North Dakota got on a collision course with a B-52 bomber. It's unclear how close the two jets came to each other, but the military jet seen here had its location turned off and was executing a flyover at a state fair about half a mile from the runway. Moments later, you can see the Delta flight operated by SkyWest on approach with 76 passengers on board. The pilot telling passengers he had to perform an aggressive maneuver to land the plane safely after that military aircraft became visible in their flight path.
For those of you on the right-hand side, you probably saw the airplane kind of sort of coming at us. Nobody told us about it, so given his speed, I felt it was the safest thing to do to turn behind it. This is not normal at all.
Monica Green was on that flight.
All of a sudden, we just kind of jerk really hard to the right, and it goes from like this to just like almost sideways completely, and we're like looking out the window and facing the grass.
The tower either failed to communicate or the B-52 crew failed to communicate that they were going to be cutting across the runway center line. And so this was obviously quite a shock for the pilot of the regional jet to see this massive, fast-moving B-52 coming across his flight path.
And David, it is critical that we find out exactly what happened here because, of course, it was just 6 months ago when a military helicopter collided with an American Airlines jet, killing all 67 people. David.
Our aviation correspondent Gio Benitez with us here tonight. Thank you, Gio. Now to the life-threatening heat. More than 90 million Americans under heat alerts at this hour. In New York City, it'll be in the high 90s by week's end. It'll feel well above 100. And the storms tonight across several states at this hour moving east. A dramatic water rescue in Kansas City, Missouri. A woman clinging to a tree in Indian Creek. First responders arriving by boat. In Maine, the moment a roof was ripped off a house, nearly hitting a driver in this car right here. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z tracking it all on a Monday night for us. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, David. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch from Billings, Montana, right to the state line of South and North Dakota, parts of Wyoming, too. Then you see that flood watch along the Nebraska-Kansas state line. Those storms are producing 1 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates. So watch that just north and west of Kansas City and Ruidoso, New Mexico, once again in a flood watch today and tomorrow. Then we've got to talk heat. The extreme heat warning for day 2 or 3, depending on where you are, focused in on Memphis, Little Rock, Kansas City. Look at all that hot pink on the map right down the Mississippi River. Some of the feels lights could go up to 111. You'll also notice that extreme heat watch up for Chicago. Well, that's because numbers will well surpass 100 in the feels like category. Look at St. Louis, 113. And yes, David, like you said, New York, Washington, D.C., we get it by Friday.
All right, Ginger Z with us here on a Monday night. We'll see you first thing in the morning, Ginger. Thank you. Just in tonight, disturbing new video obtained by TMZ showing the moment police say a driver intentionally plowed into a crowd in Los Angeles. What led to this moment in Hollywood? And authorities say it was a miracle. No one was killed. Here's our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, with the video tonight and a warning. It is disturbing.
Tonight, that horrifying video showing multiple angles of the moment a man drove his car into a crowd outside a club in Hollywood, California. The horror unfolding at around 2 a.m. Saturday morning with dozens of people standing outside the venue. According to the LAPD, the suspect had been kicked out of the club, drove away, then made a U-turn onto the sidewalk.
The vehicle struck a food cart and then came to rest at a light pole. It was an intentional act.
At least 30 people were hurt. Bystanders then pulling the driver out of the car, beating him, and one of them even shooting the suspect before fleeing on foot, according to police. Police then releasing this photo of that suspect. They have also identified the man they say rammed the nightclub as 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez, who was taken to the hospital to treat his gunshot wound and then booked on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon. And David, if that suspect is charged and convicted on multiple counts of assault with a deadly weapon, he could face dozens of years in prison. As for the victims, David, thankfully, all of them are expected to recover.
It is a miracle no one was killed there. Matt Gutman tonight. Matt, thank you. This evening to the Jeffrey Epstein files, and after President Trump told the Attorney General the Justice Department should release some of the grand jury testimony in the Epstein case, tonight the White House is now asked why not release the full Epstein files. Here's Mary Bruce.
President Trump was out of sight today, but appears eager to change the subject from sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, firing off a flurry of posts on social media on a wide range of topics. The president has ordered the Justice Department to ask the courts to release grand jury testimony in the case, but he's stopped short of telling DOJ to release the full Epstein files as promised. Why hasn't the president just ordered the FBI to release the full Epstein files, just get it all out there?
The president has said if the Department of Justice and the FBI want to move forward with releasing any further credible evidence, they should do so. As to why they have or have not or will, you should ask the FBI.
But does he still anticipate releasing more information, Caroline?
It's up to the Attorney General.
Trump and some of his top allies like FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino spent years stoking shadowy conspiracy theories about Epstein. But now Trump attacking his own supporters for wanting more information.
They're stupid people.
The president's reversal has amped up scrutiny of his own relationship with Epstein. The two men were friendly for more than a decade, socializing in New York and Palm Beach. In 2002, Trump told New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life." The Wall Street Journal reports that in 2003, Trump allegedly sent Epstein what the paper describes as a, quote, bawdy letter for his 50th birthday. Trump now filing a $10 billion lawsuit against the Journal and its owner, Rupert Murdoch, alleging they falsely claimed that he authored, drew, and signed a letter containing salacious language within a hand-drawn naked woman which was created with a heavy marker, and insisting no authentic letter or drawing exists. ABC News has not independently corroborated the letter. The Journal stands by its reporting. When Epstein was arrested in 2019, Trump said they'd had a falling out and hadn't spoken in 15 years. And now some Democrats are joining Republicans in Congress demanding the files be released. Even Speaker Johnson has said they should come out, but now he says he won't call for a vote on a resolution to back that up, saying the administration, quote, needs to have the space to do what it is doing. David.
Mary Bruce live at the White House. Mary, thank you. We turn next here to a horrific case in upstate New York. The father who told police his 9-year-old daughter was abducted in a white van, then leading to an Amber Alert, is now charged himself with her murder. Tonight, hear the daughter's last call to her mother, and here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky.
Tonight, this father is in custody, charged with killing his 9-year-old daughter after telling police she had been abducted near Lake George in upstate New York by a stranger in a white van.
Female was taken approximately 15 minutes ago. We believe it was the exit 22 rest stop. They stopped for a bathroom break for her.
Police issued an Amber Alert Saturday night, but say they quickly determined Luciano Fratolin's story did not hold up. Melina Fratolin was found dead Sunday morning in a remote pond. The two had been driving home to Montreal from a seemingly normal vacation in Connecticut and New York City.
At about 6:30 p.m., she spoke to her mother on the phone and told her she and her father were en route back to Canada. The child appeared to be in good health and did not indicate she was under any duress.
Sometime after that phone call and her father's report about an abduction 3.5 hours later, police say Fratolin murdered his daughter. Melina lived with her mother, who was estranged from the father. Police say the mom had not been worried about the father-daughter trip. No word on a motive tonight, David. Police said the father has no criminal history and no history of domestic violence. He's charged with murder and concealing a corpse. No comment from his attorney. David.
Aaron Katersky with us here. Aaron, thank you. Overseas tonight to the horrific images of fighter jet crashing into a school in Bangladesh. At least 20 people killed, many of them children, and the stories now coming in of students rushing in to help. Here's ABC's Tom Soufi-Burridge.
Tonight, a devastating scene in Bangladesh after a fighter jet slammed into a school. At least 20 people killed, more than 100 injured. Students rushing in to help as fierce flames and heavy smoke engulfed the building in the capital Dhaka, trapping many inside. First responders pouring water on the wreckage, searching for survivors. Officials say the jet crashed into the second floor of the building, filled with third and fourth graders. The youngest victim, just 5 years old. The Chinese-made jet suffering a technical malfunction shortly after takeoff, while on a routine training mission. Authorities say the pilot made a valiant attempt to avoid densely populated areas before crashing into that school. David, the country's interim leader calling the loss of life irreparable as authorities launch a full investigation. David?
All right, Tom Sufi Burridge with us as well. Tom, thanks. Tonight, Israel expanding its operation into Gaza. Dozens of Palestinians reportedly killed while they were seeking aid. And it comes just days after the Catholic Church there that the late Pope Francis would call daily was hit in Gaza too. Here's Ian Pannell.
Tonight, nearly 100 people killed trying to get food aid in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. The Israeli military accused of opening fire on desperate crowds. Hospitals overwhelmed with the dead and wounded. This man saying they raised their hands in peace to the soldiers, but the bullets came anyway. Israel disputing the death toll, saying they fired warning shots to remove an immediate threat, but they haven't said what the threat was. And with supplies running out, the need is crushing. Our team meeting Noran and her severely malnourished 5-month-old baby daughter Haya at the hospital. The deep pain and frustration of not being able to look after my baby is indescribable, she says. It comes just days after that deadly Israeli strike on Gaza's only Catholic church, the same church the late Pope Francis would call nearly every day.
David, the White House tonight admitting President Trump caught off guard by that church attack and quickly phoning Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel. Netanyahu then issuing a statement saying the church attack was an accident that Israel deeply regrets. David?
All right, Ian Pannell with us tonight. Ian, thank you. When we come back, a lot more news ahead. The case that rocked New York City and the nation, the Eitan Pates case, and what a judge has now decided tonight, all these years later. It's making news. Also, a top college football recruit has been killed, an 18-year-old freshman. And tonight here, we remember a well-known actor. He appeared in more than 70 TV shows, and you'll definitely remember his work. Tonight, a major turn in the missing child case that shook New York City and the nation, the disappearance of Eitan Pates, one of the first children to appear on a milk carton. A federal appeals court today overturning the conviction of Pedro Hernandez, ruling he should either be retried or released from prison. Hernandez confessed to luring the 6-year-old into a basement in Manhattan and killing him in 1979. His body was never found. The court finding the trial judge's jury instructions prejudiced the verdict. Tonight, authorities are searching for the suspects after the deadly shooting of a top college recruit, a football recruit at Ole Miss. Authorities say freshman Corey Adams was shot and killed just 10 minutes after arriving at a party outside Memphis. He was just 18 years old. When we come back tonight, we remember a well-known actor, more than 70 TV shows. To the Index, we learned today that actor Tom Troop has died. His career spanning decades, movies, TV, theater, more than 70 TV shows, including the original Star Trek and Mission Impossible. A Korean War vet, he received the Bronze Star for his service. He was 97. When we come back tonight, the world's top-ranked golfer celebrating his big win, but it was his little guy who stole the show. Finally tonight, American Scotty Scheffler, his big win, but it was his little guy. Folks we're rooting for, too. Tonight, hear the baby who stole the show. 29-year-old American Scotty Scheffler winning the British Open, but it was his 14-month-old son who adorably stole the spotlight.
And Scotty Scheffler has his Open Championship.
Golfer Scotty Scheffler winning his first British Open in Ireland. The crowd erupting, walking over to his wife Meredith and their 14-month-old son Bennett for a hug.
To my family, couldn't do any of this without you.
Bennett pointing at Dad, and then all eyes on Bennett. Dad watching his son trying to walk up to him on the 18th hole.
Bennett is on the loose. Here he comes. No! It's not easy up those slopes.
Little Bennett taking a little tumble. One of the officials helping him up and handing him off to Dad. The crowd loving it. Dad carrying Bennett in one hand, his trophy in the other.
I got bad for him, just kept falling down, but that's part of the learning curve and growing up.
Tonight, Scotty Scheffler now just one major away, the U.S. Open, from winning a career Grand Slam, saying he is thankful to have his family and, of course, Bennett right by his side.
At the end of the day, there's more to life than playing golf, but I'm pretty excited to go home and celebrate this one.
A win for Dad and son. And by the way, ABC News in its first newscast exclusively on Disney+. What you need to know, James Longman, Rachel Scott, weekdays beginning at 6 a.m. Can't wait. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.